England have announced their pre-Euro 2024 training camp England squad. As we know, the 33-man squad has to get chopped down into 26. And to be fair to Gareth Southgate, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you pick all the players based on reputation, there's an issue. All of them on form, there's an issue. No one is going to be extremely happy. But with it being announced, obviously, congratulations to Arsenal's Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice and Aaron Ramsdale. It's a shame about Benjamin White, you know, considering his form and just the playing level of defenders in the England squad at this moment. I think he could have been there. Now, I will admit, you know, what I believe, if you were called up necessarily for the last England camp before the Euro, so the last set of friendlies, I think you're kind of battling against it. And I think if you was called up into that and your name's there, and you had a training session, obviously your club form plays a part, but you know, Southgate got to see you up close and personal, and then he's going to have to run the ring over them. I personally think of the 26-man squad, he's probably decided 26-man squad, as I said, 23 to 24 players, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. There could be a bit of wild cards, and it all depends. A couple of players can play in a number of formations, people, and positions and whatnot. So, yeah. When you look at the squad, you've got Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale, James Trafford, who, you know, was playing for Burnley and done quite well, Gerard Braithwaite, who deserves it, Lewis Dunk, Joe Gomez, Mark Gurhey, Konza, Maguire, Luke Shaw, John Stones, I'm not sure on Shaw's fitness, Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier. Wow. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Conor Gallagher, Curtis Jones, Kobe Mainoo, Declan Rice and Adam Wharton. You've got Jude Bellingham, Gerard Bowen, Eze, Foden, Gordon, Grealish, Kane, Maddison, Cole Palmer, Saka, Ivan Toney and Watkins. Now, I know there's a number of multifunctional players there. And I know Trent, for example, you know, Jude can play as a false nine, Trent can play in midfield, but surely you should just put Trent's name in defense, put Jude Bellingham in midfield, and there's probably a couple of others, even Foden. I know Foden's probably statistically for club and country played the most amount of games as a winger, but you get the point. I would say the first thing for me is defenders. You know, Lewis Dunk, I think he's a good player. I think at international level, he's kind of struggled, but I think he's benefited from being called up before. I think people can say what they want about Harry Maguire. I think he deserves his call up because he rarely lets England down. Don't let me down. I'd love to see Braithwaite get selected for the full camp because I think he's done great for Everton and he can actually play at fullback as well. Now, we know international football is very different. You know, even some of the players that are at the top of their game, like they're playing for club and country, you look at Foden or Saliba, dominating for your country is a very different ball game. So, yeah, man, I think out the keepers, interestingly enough, I think Aaron Ramsdale's safe, but I think only Jordan Pickford's an assurance. I would imagine Pickford, Ramsdale, probably Henderson's going to get the call up, but it'd be nice for young Trafford. Out of the defenders, I think a bit like Braithwaite, Joe Gomez's ability to play at fullback probably means he's on the plane. I would probably, out of the keepers, I would select Aaron Ramsdale, Pickford, and probably Trafford. Out of the defenders now, Kyle Walker's on the plane for me. Luke Shaw's gonna have to go because there's no other fullback. I'm taking Trent, so there's probably no need for Trippier. I'd probably take Gomez. John Stones is a shoe-in. Maguire's a shoe-in. I'd probably go. He's gonna get selected. Konza can play right back and has done quite well for Aston Villa as they got Champions League football. But yeah, I would take Pickford, Ramsdale, and Trafford. In defence at this moment in time, assurances I would say Maguire, Stones, Trent, Walker, Shaw, because I know his form's on the floor, but you're going to need him. I'm probably going to take Joe Gomez and Gurhey as well. Probably take more defenders if I was Southgate than I might have. You know, midfield, I think Adam Wharton, you know, took a while, not took a while, needed to adjust at Crystal Palace, and then he's been balling. He deserves it. And if nothing more comes of this, it's obviously, you know, it shows that you're doing the right things. Curtis Jones, I think he's a quality player. I don't know if he's going to go for the full, you know, on the plane, but he can play in a number of roles. Kobe Mainoo's done very well for Man United. Was a bit flat as Man United finished 8th and tailed off, but the 18-year-old has done himself the world of good this season and gave a good addition for himself playing for England in the last selection. So I would probably take him. I do think you've got to take Gallagher. Declan Rice is a shoe-in. I would admit I'm undecided on ability Curtis Jones goes, but I'd be a bit undecided on Curtis Jones and Adam Wharton, if I'm honest. For me, out of midfielders, I'm taking Gallagher, I'm taking Mainoo. Obviously, Declan Rice is going. Bellingham should be over there. He's going. Phil Foden's on the plane. So there's that. if there's a place, I would probably take Eze. But again, you have a 26-man squad, and you might say as a manager, do I want more defenders or do I want more attackers? Do I want a striker that, or a player that might not play the majority of the tournament, but if we're ever in trouble, they could be selected. So yeah, I actually should have written down how many names. I'm happy I don't have to select this 26-man squad. Obviously, for me, Bellingham's a shoe-in, Foden's a shoe-in. I know Grealish's form is woeful, but he's a shoe-in. I actually think they should have taken Rashford because he provides something different regardless of his form. Cole Palmer, if there is a spot, I'd take him on the plane. He can play in midfield, and I think he deserves it. I'm an Arsenal fan. Bukayo Saka's been one of England's best performing players. He's definitely going and deserves to go. Striker is where it gets a bit political because, you know, you have got Harry Kane there. I do think Ollie Watkins should be on the plane. And I reckon even though Ivan Toney's form kind of, you know, fell off a cliff towards the end of the season, he goes. And with England, we've seen in the last time we got to a final, you know, penalties and whatnot. We obviously have seen historically England fans, young and old, we don't do well at penalties. Ivan Toney's probably the best penalty taker, give or take, within that team. And to be honest, probably one of the best penalty takers in the England squad. There are obviously spare a thought for someone like Solanke, who maybe wouldn't have got called up and for the 26-man squad, but based on form, could have at least been called up in the provisional squad. Gordon's done well for Newcastle, in which has been an underwhelming season for Newcastle after getting the Champions League. Maddison's a quality player, and it's sad because, you know, with James Maddison, when his form was out of this world, he wasn't getting selected. Now you've been a bit shaky for Spurs, you've been selected. I don't think Maddison's going to go, just because I feel if he goes with Cole Palmer, if he goes with a Grealish, if he's got Foden, you know, they can, maybe even Curtis Jones, they can kind of occupy the same roles. They're kind of, not like for like, but kind of similar players, really. I would love to have seen Benjamin White. So, yeah, man, I think they should have taken Rashford. I'm sure Sterling's somewhere gutted as well. And there's no Reece James, there's no Ben Chilwell. There's a lot of players that probably should have been selected, if I'm honest with you, or would have been selected if their form was a bit different. But who knows, man? You know, we're going to have to see it cut down from 33 players to 26-man squad. So, yeah, we'll have to see for the full announcement in that regards. But I just wanted to make a quick video. Let me know your thoughts on the provisional squad. Do you agree with who's been selected? Is there any questionable inclusions? Do you think anyone was unfortunate to miss out? Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.